Tonight, livestock lost.
When we arrived, there was really nothing that could be done.
Thousands of animals caught in the flames when a barn fire broke out. Plus,
our executive director fell prey to a phishing scam.
A local BIA's bank account drained. And stepping into the ring.
Hey, aren't you that wrestling counselor guy?
The Sarnia politician with two very different day jobs.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight west of London and a serious barn fire. It's believed thousands of pigs are dead, killed when the flames broke out early this morning. With more on the response, here's Sean Irvin.
Amidst persistent rain and heavy smoke, it is difficult to see the aftermath of a barn fire on Elm Tree Drive southwest of Park Hill. It was noted by a neighbor around 7 a.m. The property owner immediately called 911. Responding North Middlesex firefighters could do little but contain it.
The barn was fully involved. There had already been some collapse.
The worsening situation warranted calling in additional fire departments, including those from Lambton Shores and Kerwood. Multiple pumpers were needed to trek water from Arkona.
The challenge is the size of the barn and the extent of the fire when we arrived. There was really nothing that could be done other than protecting other buildings.
While no one was hurt, there was a large loss of pigs housed inside the barn.
I'm told it was over 3,000 of different size, yes.
The blaze was contained within 2 hours, but smoke continued to billow as heavy equipment moved in to get at hot spots. There is no damage estimate, but the chief anticipates the barn is a total loss. The cause has not been determined, but the Office of the Fire Marshal has been notified. In North Middlesex, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Italian food processor Andriani opened doors in London today, the company's first production facility in North America. As Brian Bicknell reports, it's also about cementing London's status as a major agri-food center.
Music and culture, and of course food. It was all part of the international fanfare as the first products rolled off the assembly line. Hundreds of dignitaries from Ontario and Europe were on hand as Italian food producer Andriani, maker of Felicia brand gluten-free and plant-based foods, held the official opening of its first North American production plant, located on Innovation Drive in East London.
Today we are celebrating much more than the opening of a new plant. It's the beginning of a new chapter.
The $55 million plant is more than 61,000 square feet in size, and that makes for a lot of pasta.
If you produce 24 hours, 320 days per year, etc., you can reach a final capacity of 14,000 tons of pasta. Just as a number. 14,000 tons. Okay, good.
And the consumer also are changing, are looking for quality for sure, but also more nutrients.
Located in the heart of the Southern Ontario Farm Belt, what that means is this company has easy access to everything it needs to make its products. The new plant gives the company a foothold in the North American market, but it also cements London's position as an agri-food hub.
We're ready to be aggressive on attracting agri-food and food manufacturers to our city.
And Andriani just adds another layer of innovation and global quality production.
Among the guests at the opening, Italy's ambassador to Canada, who praised the economic partnership.
And how great our ambitions are when we really strive for the best of quality, when we strive for excellence.
The company says the plant will employ 40 people by the end of the year. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
CTV News has learned the Hamilton Road BIA lost more than $100,000 to an online banking scam this summer, raising questions about why business owners weren't notified earlier. Daryl Newcomb has more in this CTV News exclusive.
CTV News found the office of the Hamilton Road Business Improvement Area closed, just part of the fallout after much of the BIA's bank account was drained by online scammers.
Nobody wants to go through these things.
City Councillor Hadley McAllister sits on the BIA's board.
In the summer, unfortunately, our executive director fell prey to a phishing scam, so someone was able to breach our bank account.
McAllister says Scotiabank's investigation determined its website had been mirrored, and because the login credentials were stolen, it wasn't liable for damages. Of the $125,000 stolen, only $14,000 was recovered. The total loss for the BIA, $111,000. According to Councillor McAllister, the money that was stolen came from both the special levy payment made by businesses in the area as well as a grant provided by City Hall. McAllister says the BIA's board of directors has taken over operations and addressed the financial impact.
We cut back. We didn't ask for any new funds from the city. We maintained the money we still had. So next year when we go into 2026, we can have a budget that will still maintain the service our members rely on.
But even right next door to the BIA's office, news of the substantial theft comes as an unwelcome surprise.
They definitely should have been more transparent. I asked them what was going on. They just said they were moving some stuff into storage and now they're gone. I had to learn by the news what happened.
Essentially through the summer, there were ongoing investigations. We needed to kind of let those run their course, see where we were at financially, and then make decisions in terms of the budget for next year.
McAllister says staffing has been reduced and preventative measures taken.
We've switched financial institutions and moving forward in terms of looking at insurance measures to guard against any future scams.
Expect a lot more questions from business owners along Hamilton Road when the BIA's board discusses the theft at its annual general meeting on October 29th. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
The executive director for the downtown London BIA is leaving the position after an extended leave of absence. The association issued a newsletter today reporting Barb Malley formally left her position at the end of September. She initially took a 30-day leave of absence in March, but never returned to the office. Malley assumed the post in February 2020, guiding the organization through the pandemic and the ensuing economic challenges. The BIA's leadership came under fire from local business owners for not adequately addressing crime, homelessness, and store vacancies. Throughout that period, Malley said many of those issues were beyond the BIA's control.
Good evening, I'm Rita Ismail. We've been in and out of showers throughout the day today with breaks of sunshine as we head into the night. A little bit of a break right now. 8 degrees is where we're sitting. The winds out of the west, 13 kilometers per hour, but they've been gusting throughout the day up to about 40. And as we head into the night, we are still dealing with an unsettled pattern. Chilly, wet weather, damp out there, and lake effect showers overnight tonight into tomorrow. The instability will continue as we move into your Thursday, but there is a bit of sunshine heading our way just in time for the weekend. I'll break down your full forecast a little later in the show, but for now, back to you, Carlyle.
Thank you, Rita. London police say they're investigating a stabbing attack from this morning. According to police, a 911 call came in just after 5 a.m. reporting a person in distress near Oxford and Warncliffe. Police say they found a man with apparent stab wounds when they arrived, but no suspect has been located. They're asking anyone with dash cam or surveillance footage in the area to contact them. An Amber Alert turned fatal last night in the Niagara region. The search for a missing toddler led to a confrontation where police officers opened fire. Scott Hurst has the latest on the investigation.
This is where an overnight manhunt for an Amber Alert suspect ended in a deadly confrontation with police.
There was an interaction involving the man and the officers, and then there was a discharge of a firearm at the man. The man was struck multiple times.
The man was pronounced dead on scene outside this gas station in Niagara Falls, Ontario. Police in the region following up on tips on the whereabouts of 38-year-old Anthony DeShepe, the subject of an Amber Alert the day before in Brampton, more than 100 kilometers away.
The child subject of that Amber Alert was found safe in Niagara. However, the male subject of the Amber Alert was still outstanding.
The Amber Alert first went out Tuesday afternoon. A 29-year-old woman was fatally shot in this commercial plaza, allegedly by Deshepe, who then, according to police, took off with his 1-year-old child in the back seat. Investigators described the homicide as an intimate partner-related incident. The shooting in a busy plaza in broad daylight, leaving many people shaken.
I was walking in the store and I heard gunshots.
I actually was in the store. I just heard a little bit of gunshots and it was very quick, probably 2 to 3.
CTV News has confirmed the woman's identity through family as Savannah Kula, a mother of 4 young children. The victim's mother and the rest of the family are now trying to support each other through this terrible tragedy.
I'm a nightmare. I'm a mess, but right now I'm just trying to hold it together. You know, I have 2 other kids and I have 8 grandkids.
No officers were injured in the confrontation that led to the death of the Amber Alert suspect. Ontario's Special Investigations Unit is now looking into the incident, as it does every time police are involved in a shooting. In this case, it is an investigation overall that spans multiple crime scenes and police jurisdictions. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
London police say they've charged a woman from Owen Sound following a protest yesterday. Police say they were called to an anti-war protest outside RBC Place Tuesday morning. Protesters were blocking people from attending a military equipment conference. According to police, a suspect wearing a mask broke electronic locks off the building with a hammer, causing about $30,000 in damage, and then resisted arrest. Premier Doug Ford says he's considering legislation aimed at cracking down on ticket resales, with World Series seats going for massive markups. Siobhan Morris reports.
Outside the Rogers Centre, the headquarters for so much joy the last few days, everyone has a story of woe of being denied a coveted World Series ticket.
I was, I think, 138,000 in the queue for Game 6.
I wasn't able to get any. It's been crazy.
The tickets vanished in a flash. The resale market that took over.
Too expensive.
Fans have reported tickets listed for north of $25,000. That's what some Torontonians pay for rent in a whole year.
They need to do something about it. People shouldn't be making a business from reselling tickets. It just doesn't make sense.
The Premier has heard those frustrations and is considering changes.
My personal opinion, I got to talk to the whole team, but they're gouging the people. When you have one player in the market that controls the tickets, that's not right for the people. So we're actually reviewing that right now.
Doug Ford says he'll look at reviving a legislative move his government killed in its early days. It would cap the price for a resale ticket at 50% markup. In 2018, Ford's office said the measure introduced by the Liberals couldn't actually be enforced. But Blue Jays fans are giving this a standing ovation.
That's a really reasonable thing to do. It allows people to actually afford to come into games and shows that you want to be able to see.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Like, price gouging is out of control.
I think that's something good. I think the amount people are trying to make off other people, I think, is unfair.
Opposition parties don't think the government should have shut down the anti-scalping measure in the first place.
The Ford government once again failed everyday people in order to align themselves with corporate interests.
We need the government to take action.
People expect their government to make sure there's fairness.
Fans are still willing to stretch their budgets to witness history.
800 max. Yeah, for like the 500 seats.
But for now, they'll have to hope this is more than a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Officials in Bruce County say they're gaining momentum to building a new large-scale nuclear reactor, Canada's first in decades. With more on the project's potential impact, here's Scott Miller.
In July of 2023, Bruce Power got the green light to start planning for the construction of 4 to 5 more nuclear reactors at their sprawling Bruce County compound. 2 years later, the dream is slowly taking shape.
We really want to do a large new build because that's what makes sense for the site, but we really want to do it safely, with high quality, low cost, and on time.
At a Clean Energy Frontier conference near the Bruce Power site today, representatives from across the country heard about the immense impact building brand new nuclear reactors might have on the region, province, and country.
Our current operation, we're talking 27,000 jobs across Ontario, 7,000 megawatts of reliable power. When you add Bruce C to that mix, those jobs double to over 50,000, at least during construction and our base operation. GDP to Canada, $200 billion, and increasing the site output to 12,000 megawatts.
The impacts locally to building more nuclear reactors could see 2,600 new jobs supported in the region each year, along with the 4,200 full-time employees on site right now. That's not to mention up to 20,000 jobs supported and created during construction, says an interim Ontario Chamber of Commerce study.
So Bruce C would be 21,000 direct and indirect jobs, and during operation a little more than 8,000 jobs. So it would kind of double what we're doing already with our life extension.
Before Bruce C could be approved, the Indigenous rights holders to the Bruce site, the Saugeen and Ojibwe Nation, would need to be on board. They aren't yet, saying legacy nuclear issues, specifically around the storage and handling of nuclear waste, must be dealt with before they give their blessing to the proposed project.
So we really want to have a partnership, more than an agreement, if you want, with the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation, where they are really part embracing the project and they get direct benefit from the project. That's what we want to invent for Bruce C.
Pretty much everyone at today's Clean Energy Conference is behind the project, recognizing it will bring challenges like around housing, but challenges they are more than happy to try and deal with.
We have seen the job creation, we've seen the quality of life, we've seen the ability to attract and retain young people.
We're really excited about the proposed Bruce C site. Certainly we think about the job creation and assessment growth for our municipalities, which then in turn turns into things like recreation facilities, support for small business.
If it does move forward, it is believed it would be more than a decade before the Bruce C nuclear facility could be operational. In Bruce County, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Coming up, hundreds of job losses at an auto plant in Quebec. The union says there are more casualties of the U.S. trade war. Plus, from the political arena to the wrestling ring, we'll introduce you to the local politician and his alter ego ahead in the Tee-Up with Brent Lail.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvlondon.ca, your home for news.
Well, welcome back. It's time for the Tee-Up with Brent Lail. And Brent, just like that, the 9-week OUA football season is over, and now playoff time.
Yeah, the Western Mustangs are going to have to get up off the mat after being embarrassed by 47 points last week against Laurier. They'll face Guelph Saturday in the quarterfinals.
We got a tough road now, and we're going to have to, take it 1 week at a time. We can't look 3 weeks down the road and say, we're going to get ready to play Laurier. We got to take care of business right now.
For weeks, Greg Marshall has been saying no one wants to play the Guelph Griffins. He's called them the best 7-seeded team he's seen. And despite Western beating them by 20 earlier in the season, it's going to be no cakewalk this Saturday at Alumni Stadium.
Now, meanwhile, it's playoff time for multiple high school sports seasons.
Yeah, the high school football quarterfinals, Carlyle, begin tomorrow in the playoffs with the final 8 starting their quest for a berth in the OFSA Bowl. Meanwhile, Medway Parkside in the Girls Field Hockey Championship goes tomorrow afternoon at Citywide Field. Girls basketball postseason is getting started soon. This week in St. Thomas, it was St. Joe's Parkside, battle of unbeatens looking for that #1 seed. Annalise Verbruggen poured in 13 points for the Rams. She got them out to an early lead, but it was Brooklyn Roberts-Neef scoring 20 for the Stampeders, who finished the regular season with a perfect 8-0 record after the win. They'll be the top seed entering the postseason.
And the London Knights have named their leadership group for this season.
Yes, Sam O'Reilly has been named the 54th captain in franchise history, while Jared Woolley and Henry Brestevich are the alternate captains. Winners of 5 of their last 6, London has vaulted into 5th place in the conference through 10 games. A huge weekend for the Fanshawe Falcons. Caleb Sagan with the winning strikeout as the Falcons knocked off St. Clair 7-6 to win the Ontario title for the first time in program history. And how about Western softball? They won silver from the Ontario Championships in Ingersoll, battling through some rainy conditions, losing to Laurier in the final game over the weekend. And some of the top skateboarders from across the country were in London this week for the Medway Open. Here's London's Richie Bulbrook, ranked number 1 in Canada. He brought this event to his hometown to inspire London's youth. He left today for California, where he'll live now in preparation for the 2028 Olympics.
I'm there on an athlete visa until the Olympics, so I'm going to be using the training facility they have down there. That's a little bit better than stuff we have in Canada, so I'm looking forward to that. It's definitely something I need for my career, but this bowl has served me so well, and I'm so grateful for London and the community.
And finally, Brent, a tale of two personas for a local politician.
Yes, Sarnia City Councillor Brian White lives what you can call a double life. When he's not making impactful decisions in council chambers, he's entertaining and moonlighting as a pro wrestler.
Everybody is grappling with trying to make the right decision.
In his daily life, Councillor Brian White wrestles with trying to do what's best for the city of Sarnia.
Almost 3 full terms, it means that I'm either doing something right or I've been able to fake people out as much as I do in pro wrestling.
When he removes the suit and tie from his day job, his persona and demeanor changes. He becomes a punk rock, independent wrestling champion.
To put on a different hat, to become a different person, and to have people, whether they boo me or cheer me on the road, it's not for political reasons. It's just because we're doing our job.
His dual life sometimes intersects. In pro wrestling terms, he's not always the face or the good guy. Some people see him as a heel.
One gentleman commented on my haircut earlier, so thank you for the compliment.
Being able to get out on the road and get away from all that other stuff is really therapeutic for me.
I've been walking through a restaurant in Ottawa and had somebody grab me by the arm and say, "Hey, aren't you that wrestling counselor guy?" So it's pretty cool.
His moniker is the Honorable One, in reference to his role in politics. He's the former deputy warden of Lambton County, and for the past year has been Sarnia's acting mayor when Mike Bradley is away.
My only regret is I didn't get to do an acting macho mayor persona, which I was really hoping to do, but perhaps at some point I will pull that one out of the bag.
Perhaps next fall. After serving in an interim capacity for the past year, there are rumors he may seek the mayoral chair in 2026.
Every decision that we make in this chamber is incredibly important to somebody, and it has ramifications long term. And so when we do make those decisions, and I do sit there and expect certain decorum, it's a lot different than being in the ring, that's for sure.
As he approaches 50 years old, he isn't quite ready to hang up his wrestling boots just yet. As a former filmmaker and storyteller, he already has an idea of how his in-ring story will end before the credits roll.
I kind of see it as a bit of a dovetail opportunity as my son evolves into his pro wrestling career. It gives me an opportunity to start looking beyond. What does that mean for me? The dream match for me is to have my son retire me at the end in a match. My last match hopefully will be against my boy.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
On the desk with Rita Ismail now, not quite as dramatic a shift as politician to wrestler, but from reporter to weather anchor, we've got the multi-talented Rita Ismail handling that for us tonight.
Thank you so much, Carlyle. We do have a lot happening in weather today. I'm sure you folks noticed that we've been in and out of showers and sunshine too. We had sunshine about a couple of hours ago and then a big downpour around 5 this evening. That's been the weather story throughout the morning into the afternoon. Our temperature's struggling today to reach seasonal, which is 13. We've only hit 9 today. Record, it was on this day in 1947, 26 degrees, record low -5 in 1969. Heading into the night, we're ranging anywhere between 6 to about 10 degrees, and we are going to struggle to past the 10-degree mark tomorrow as well. Here's the story. This is a bit of a messy upper level trough that's become stationary. It doesn't want to leave the Great Lakes region. And of course, the winds have been gusting over the Lake Huron throughout the day, and that means we've been dealing with lake effect rain showers as well. Some parts of the region throughout Grey and Bruce, you even dealt with heavier downpours, non-severe thunderstorms. As this low pressure system pushes out gradually, the air will continue to spin over the lake, and tomorrow will feel much like the same damp, chillier conditions, breezy winds through throughout the afternoon. It won't really be until Friday afternoon, rather, when we could see the system start to move out and take with it the cloud cover, making way for some sunshine late in the day Friday around 3 or 4 p.m. For us here in London. Throughout Midwestern Ontario, you'll be dealing with some cloud cover and showers on Friday as well, but tomorrow is going to be much like today. Overnight tonight, the winds out of the west, 20 kilometers per hour, few showers on and off, bit of a break in between that, waking up to another cool morning, and of course with the rain it'll feel damp. Heading into the afternoon, that cloud cover will be persistent, the light rain will be there, the winds will kick up and they'll shift. They'll be out of the northwest, 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, and again, the daytime high for tomorrow should hit about 9 degrees. So if you liked it today, you're gonna love it tomorrow because it looks almost the same. Your 7-day forecast is brought to you by Metal Roof Outlet. I did not like it today, so I am looking forward for the clearing conditions moving our way late day Friday. Our temperatures will hit near seasonal values Friday into Saturday, and then we dry out nicely just in time for the weekend. Although the overnight lows do drop to near or slightly above the freezing mark Saturday and Sunday, we do warm up nicely to 14 degrees on Sunday. Great day to get outdoors, take in all the fall colors. Monday, starting the work week, 13 degrees, near seasonal daytime highs, and dry conditions Saturday through to Tuesday before another round of rainfall returns next Wednesday. Midwestern Ontario, this system really lingering for you and impacting you a bit longer than us here in London. 10 degrees, the high tomorrow, in and out of showers as well. Slight chance for some non-severe thunderstorms or heavier downpours. Anywhere between another 10 to 20 millimeters of rain possible tonight into tomorrow, and then holding on to that Friday morning into the afternoon. I'm not hopeful you'll see the sun shining that much on Friday, but definitely on Saturday it will move back into play. And then we do again dry out nicely just in time for the weekend with daytime highs around 12 degrees, a nice mix of sun and cloud. It's certainly feeling and looking a lot like fall out there, Carlyle. And I think it's we're past the middle of October, so we'll embrace it and we'll take in all the fall colors on the weekend.
We could certainly be doing a lot worse, I think. Rita?
For
Thanks,
sure.
Thanks very much. Still ahead, pulling their weight and then some, the local fundraiser hauling airplanes across the tarmac.
Make sure you join us tomorrow morning, well, the whole day, but specifically at 7:10 for your chance to win some money.
Yes, we want to make you London's latest and greatest, a millionaire. $100 in OLG tickets up for grabs. Good luck.
Union leaders say a truck assembly plant in Quebec is laying off 300 workers because of U.S. tariffs. It's the latest sign of economic pessimism ahead of Prime Minister Mark Carney's first federal budget. Geneviève Beauchemin reports.
The union says the 300 workers who were laid off are the latest victims in the tariff war raging between Canada and the United States. PACCAR assembles Kenworth and Peterbilt trucks, and this wave of layoffs here comes days after the U.S. imposed a 25% tariff on medium and heavy-duty trucks. There have been earlier rounds of cuts here, and for workers leaving at the end of their shifts today, this was a difficult day.
Oh, it's very heavy. I mean, yeah, it's very heavy. Like it's the second time since not that long.
PACCAR is based in Seattle, and the company declined to comment today. But the union says PACCAR is refocusing on making trucks for the Canadian market, though it's much smaller. And while a year ago 92 trucks rolled off the assembly line here a day, that number is now down to 18, sparking concern as to the very survival of the company here.
Ça fait excessivement mal comme nouvelle.
The union is urging all levels of government to do their part and buy Canadian, become clients, and buy the trucks that are made here. For the city of Sainte-Thérèse, this is a big blow. This is the only major plant on its territory. And along with the hundreds of well-paying jobs that were lost, today there are hundreds more on the line in indirect labor. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Sainte-Thérèse, Quebec.
A cryptocurrency exchange has been slapped with a record fine, almost $180 million, the largest ever penalty by Canada's Financial Intelligence Agency. The fine was dropped on Zeltox Industries for infractions including failing to flag more than 1,000 transactions with suspected criminal links. Zeltox operates as Cryptomus and was previously known as Certa Payments. Authorities say some of the violations are connected to trafficking in child sexual abuse material, fraud, and ransomware payments. The agency found more than 1,000 instances where Cryptomus did not submit reports for July 2024 transactions involving known dark net markets. A family in the Toronto area say they bought a used SUV last year, which was just 2 years old, so still covered by warranty. However, the engine seized up, and when they brought it into the shop, there was a dispute over regular oil changes and whether they were done on time. Pat Foran reports.
Jacqueline Ferrer of Mississauga and her husband had a baby last year, and with a dog in the family, they decided to get an SUV. They purchased a used 2022 Mazda CX-9 with about 50,000 kilometers on it. Ferreira says over the past year, they took it in for oil changes.
We've taken it for its oil change every 5,000 kilometers, and it's been good to us until it wasn't.
Ferreira did not purchase the SUV from a Mazda dealer and uses her own mechanic for maintenance.
So we do get our oils changed with our own personal mechanic.
In August, there was a problem with the vehicle's camera and then it wouldn't start. They took it to a Mazda dealership and were told there was a problem with the oil level and the engine was seized.
They were asking for proof of our oil changes. We sent them photographs of our oil changes.
Following an investigation, they were told the engine failure was not a defect and would not be covered under warranty. Ferreira says her mechanic had to install a used engine at a cost of almost $10,000.
Financially, it's going to be debilitating if it's not covered.
When CTV News reached out to Mazda, spokesperson said Mazda Canada declined the warranty claim on evidence the engine failure was not caused by a manufacturer defect. A review revealed irregularities in the maintenance documentation provided. If your vehicle is under warranty, you don't have to go to a dealership for oil changes, but many people do. If you do go to an independent mechanic or a lube shop, you do have to follow the owner's manual and the scheduled maintenance. You have to use the right oil and filter and keep detailed records. Mazda told CTV it recognizes the situation has been difficult. Therefore, Mazda offered as a gesture of goodwill to reimburse the cost of the used engine installed by the independent garage. Ms. Ferreira accepted the offer. The family still has questions, but agreed with the outcome.
At least the cost of that engine is covered, which is still a great financial relief. Thank you, CTV. We're really grateful. Thank you so much.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
A relatively quiet day on Bay Street, a gain of 94 points on the TSX. In New York, a different story. The Dow was down more than 330 points. The Nasdaq fell 213. Canadian dollar up more than 1/10 of a cent today. On commodity markets, gold dropped more than $40 an ounce, and oil gained $1.26 a barrel. Blue Jays fans sharing their baseball superstitions as the team and the country gear up for Game 1 of the World Series Friday night.
5K a day is back on 97.5 Virgin Radio. Listen to Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben for your chance to win $5,000
every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
Welcome back. The Prime Minister will deliver a speech tonight on the economy, less than 2 weeks away from tabling his first budget since taking office. Mike Couture has more on the stakes, which include the potential for another federal election if the budget flops.
What is the message you hope to convey to Canadians tonight with your address?
The message will be conveyed in the address.
The Prime Minister was tight-lipped ahead of his evening speech, which is being given to students who are entering the workforce at a moment of rupture in our history.
We have to make major investments in our economic capacity and our trade capacity. And I haven't seen the speech, but I'm sure he'll be talking about some of those things.
CTV News has learned the speech will focus on 4 themes: diversifying trade partners away from the U.S., a new talent and immigration plan to fill the workforce's needs, climate, and the core principle of the budget, to spend less and invest more. After an early morning meeting with the Prime Minister, the leader of the Bloc Québécois said his MPs will support the budget if some key demands are met, including increasing health transfers to the provinces by more than $11 billion.
It's their responsibility and only theirs to find somebody to vote with them. They know our conditions, and if they wake up a little bit late, it's once again their problem.
Ahead of his meeting with the Prime Minister, the Conservative leader was open to collaboration.
And if he takes my suggestions of bringing down the deficit to the level the Liberal government promised, of getting rid of the hidden taxes on food, well, then let's have a look at it.
Now, if the Liberals can't get opposition support for November's budget, the government would fall and there would be the second election in just 7 months. But multiple MPs say Canadians aren't in the mood for that. Mike Lecoulteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
The federal justice minister is expected to hold a news conference tomorrow on bail reform legislation targeting violent offenders. The new rules would make it harder for people accused of serious crimes like sexual assault and violent robberies to stay out of jail before trial. The proposed bill would also eliminate conditional sentences for some sex crimes and allow consecutive sentences. Critics of the current legislation argue the rules are too lenient. The 5 official candidates for the federal NDP leadership race will face off in a national debate tonight. Documentary filmmaker Avi Lewis, social worker Tennille Johnson, Alberta MP Heather McPherson, union leader Rob Ashton, and Lucknow farmer Tony McQuail will take part in the party's first leadership forum in Ottawa. The NDP are coming off their worst ever election result last spring, winning just 7 seats and losing official party status. Thousands of dollars raised today at the London airport by local teams, all pulling together. This was the United Way's first ever airplane pull on the tarmac. Organizers say 38 teams raised more than $40,000 in pledges. Locally, the United Way helps more than 100,000 people a year with counseling, food security, and supportive housing. Each team included around 15 people, pulling planes weighing as much as 43,000 pounds.
Our student groups, they're really bringing a lot of energy. We have workplaces here. Canada Life was just pulling. We had our friends from CAMI and Unifor 88 pulling for their community at a time when they're going through a tough time themselves. So we're so thrilled to see the support here.
Tomorrow on CTV News, the next phase in addressing addictions and mental health issues in London. We'll look at the city's new heart hub and what it means for the community. That's tomorrow on CTV News at 6.
Tonight's weather snapshot sent in from our wonderful viewer and former colleague, Nancy Allen. She took this photo of a very large display of pumpkins and gourds in all different shapes and sizes just outside Mount Bridges. Thanks so much for sharing, Nance. Cool and damp tonight. On and off showers expected to end Thursday afternoon, but it will be breezy tomorrow with a high of 10. Sunshine returns Friday and Saturday with daytime highs right where they're supposed to be for this time of year, 12 degrees. Chance of rain returns on Sunday.
Ukrainian officials say Russia launched a massive drone and missile attack last night, killing at least 6 people. The aerial attack struck at least 8 cities, including the capital and the wider Kyiv region. Cities in the country's south were also targeted, as were Ukraine's energy infrastructure, causing rolling blackouts. American-led efforts to end the war have floundered, while Ukraine's president appeals for more military support. Officials with the International Court of Justice say Israel must allow a UN aid agency into Gaza to provide humanitarian assistance. Last year, the UN General Assembly had asked the court to determine Israel's legal obligations. Israeli officials have denied violating international law, saying the court proceedings are biased. They insist a humanitarian aid organization has been infiltrated by Hamas, a claim the organization denies. At the moment, a fragile ceasefire agreement in Gaza is holding. Many Canadian provinces are dropping the age for breast cancer screening, an effort to get people screened earlier, while an estimated 1 in 8 Canadian women develop breast cancer in their lifetime. With more, here's Sarah Plowman.
At 34, Alicia O'Brien noticed a lump in her breast.
And I sat on it for a long time, hoping that it would go away.
That lump didn't leave. A mammogram and biopsy revealed what she had feared.
It came back with a positive diagnosis for cancer, for stage 3 breast cancer in my right breast.
Surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation followed. For 3 years, she's been in remission. As more provinces open up routine breast cancer screening to women in their 40s, she's urging people to go.
Go and do the test. Go and do it scared. Get it out of the way.
At what age routine screening should start has been hotly debated. Current Canadian guidelines recommend 50, but many provinces, including Ontario, have dropped the age to 40. Since Ontario's program expanded last October, about 184,000 women in their 40s have been screened. That's about 18% of women in that age group.
Usually in a screening program, we aim for 70% of women being screened, but we have not achieved that yet, especially for the women 40 to 49, because there has been a lot of controversy about the guidelines.
At the Ottawa Hospital, women in their 40s are now getting screened in similar numbers as those in their 50s and 60s.
This really indicated that there was a pent-up demand, and I am diagnosing cancer, early breast cancer, in these young women.
Brian is thankful her cancer was found, removed, and treated.
It's the putting it off and not getting screened is where it becomes dangerous.
A message she hopes is heard. Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Fredericton.
Ontario health leaders have released new guidelines for menopause. As Pauline Chan reports, it's an often sensitive subject for families, which can make it a more challenging experience.
47-year-old Pinder Baines has been in perimenopause for a couple of years now with various symptoms.
I had a neurologist for headaches because I had unexplained headaches. I also had gynecological issues where I had abnormal bleeding, and at the same time, like hot flashes, brain fog, trouble concentrating.
And she says no one really prepared her for this stage in life.
Unfortunately, like in our family, nobody really talked about it.
That's why Dr. Ileana Lega says the guidelines developed by Ontario Health are so important.
So knowing how to recognize perimenopause and menopause is really key to getting the ball started on eventually treatment. There's a lot of misinformation about safety around hormone therapy, and so the guidelines really help summarize who is a good candidate for hormone therapy, how to start it, and how to maintain someone on it.
Dr. Lega says as the body changes, so do a woman's health risks.
There are many changes beyond symptoms that need to be addressed. It's a time of cardiovascular risk factor acceleration, meaning blood pressure starts creeping up.
Menopause is also associated with problems like losing bone density, diabetes, high cholesterol, and muscle loss.
I did have various different treatments that I was getting until I was able to see Dr. Lega and was put on HRT, and I can tell you that it's helped tremendously.
Dr. Lega says hormone replacement therapy is safe for the vast majority of women like Pinder, helping with hot flashes and night sweats.
It has benefits beyond that. It's very effective as a bone protecting agent. It can help with sleep. It can help to a certain extent with some joint pains and sometimes with some mood issues.
She says those perimenopausal years in your mid-40s to 50 are a good time to rethink your lifestyle, diet, alcohol intake, smoking, sleep habits, and especially exercise.
Anything you do where you move your body is very important. Ideally, there should be a strength training component as well, so muscle building.
Baines shares her information on menopause openly with her friends.
Every woman is going to be different. Every woman will have different type of symptoms, but I think within my generation and that we're going through this together.
And for more information, you can check with the Menopause Foundation of Canada or the Canadian Menopause Society. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
Finally tonight, final preparations for the World Series. And we're not talking about the players here. This is about the fans and all the rituals that come with a lengthy playoff run. Raheem Ladani has more on the superstitions and the hope.
Inside this Kensington Market bakery, there's one flavor you could say is good luck.
Coconut cream pie.
That's Wanda Beaver. She and her husband David own Wanda's Pie in the Sky. During the World Series in 1993, coconut cream pie was Joe Carter's favorite, and he was craving a slice to be delivered before the historic Game 6.
He was sitting there with a couple of other fellows, and he said, well, how much do you want for that? I go, tell you what, make you a deal, Joe. You can have the pie for free. You just have to return the pie plate when you're done with the pie, after you win the World Series, I said. And he goes, sounds like a deal.
And we all know what happened next.
It's the pie that won the World Series. That's what we used to call, we still call it. Now we're getting people coming in and they go, I heard your stories. I want a coconut cream pie. Is the magic is still there. And every time that happens, they win.
As the 2025 Blue Jays gear up for their first World Series appearance in more than 3 decades, a lot of fans have their own superstitions they'll be following.
I've had 3 beers each game that they've won, so 3 beers consistently.
Same jersey, same hat. Around the 7th inning, just before it started, rally cap on.
While everyone has their own game day ritual for the World Series, it might have been Vladimir Guerrero Jr. himself who broke Toronto's Game 7 playoff curse. Vladdy walked into the ballpark ahead of the Jays' deciding game against the Seattle Mariners wearing an Auston Matthews Maple Leafs jersey. Anxious fans feared the fashion choice, as the Leafs have lost all 3 Game 7s they've played in the Matthews era. But Guerrero went on to win the ALCS MVP, and the Jays punched their ticket to the World Series.
Everyone in here is rooting for the Jays right now, obviously, so it's I'm sure it's the same thing when they're coming to our games, but for him to show some love and respect to Auston is obviously well-deserved. It's great to see from Vladdy.
Back at Wanda's, they say if any Jays player is looking for dessert ahead of this World Series,
Joe Carter had a good idea, and it worked for him. Maybe it can work for you, too.
Yeah. One slice may lead to the sweetest win of all. Raheem Ladani, CTV News.
And that's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.